with him though. I was like, nice. But it's
just
the
jokes.
context in the.
It's when you fuck around and say, "But see, he has a point," and then you're in the shit.
Well,
by the way,
short,
we've been off air
anymore,
for the last 2 minutes.
Cut off.
Oh, say what?
We got knocked off our live feed. We're back up now.
We're still recording though.
I've been diligently working to get our live stream back up.
Good job. The IT department.
Is Lulu working still?
I'm a little annoyed because we so it's not our connection. We thought it was.
Yeah, we changed that up,
and that made it worse somehow because.
Well, it only cut off in half the time now.
Yeah, that's not as good. This is what's worse.
Well, we were at an hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're at an hour too. So
that's interesting.
Yeah. So that's an hour. We need to call them because they owe us some money.
Yeah,
they're cutting us off in an hour.
I'm gonna have to reach out and have a talking to.
Yeah, because that is bullshit. I paid for this. That comedy paid for this. We need to make sure this is right. But Adrian Russell.
Yo.
You're a DC comic, correct? Are you from
yeah,
Baltimore
DC
area?
comic.
DC comic. Do you know any DC comics that you were friends with? In DC comedy scene?
Well, I mean, like the only like well-known comedian that I really know, like, and I think he doesn't really know my name, but like he knows my face. Like Tony Woods, like you'll see him at a bunch of like open mics here in DC, and like he sees my face, like, hey man, it's you. Just going on Scarfman or whatever, but like,
yeah, he'll
just going on Scarfman.
Yeah, Tony will recognize you. Like he does pick up on faces. I've noticed. Like he actually, I was like surprised. Like I was surprised he actually recognized me one time. I was like,
what's going on, white guy?
I felt good for a second, and then I realized there's no way he knows who I am.
You doing a set tonight, white guy? All right, yeah. And he just looks around. I guess.
It also just might be that he gives off the vibe of he recognizes you just to make you feel good about it.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm sure he doesn't like he knows probably some of your material and maybe your face, but names like I'm sure he doesn't really doesn't register because he meets so many people. But
and he's been doing it for too many years to be that tuned in.
Yeah, but I know a bunch of the local DC comics. I'm part of Callback Comedy with John Yeager, so we help organize shows. At least in the pre-COVID times. Now he's doing like a few gigs. It's starting to open back up, or hopefully it starts to open back up. He's got a few rooms he's trying to expand, so I'm helping him coordinate some of those shows. But honestly, it really depends on the venues and their flexibility and ability to really host enough people to get a decent comedy crowd. So, but
yeah, man.
But yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
You know what? To hell with John Yeager. He just beat the brakes off of me on Words with Friends, and I don't like him anymore. I don't like him anymore. You can go straight to hell.
I'm still bitter about like 5 years ago when I went to one of his shows in Arlington. Was there an hour before the show. Went up an hour after everyone else did. I went up an hour after the headliner.
I remember you telling me about that. You're like, this is bullshit. I was
still
like,
mad about that. Like
that's 5 years ago. That is a long time.
Joey, you used to do that shit when I used to come to what was the name of the place? I can't think of it now. I want to call it Trader Joe's. What was the name of it? Union Jack's.
Union Jack's.
And your ass used to put people up at fucking 11:32 at night, and like.
Well, those were people that came late.
All right. First of all, we never put anybody who was there before the show started up that late.
Yes. If you got there before we started, you were going on first. You were an opening act for whoever we felt like was headliner.
I used to show up at 10 and want to go straight up.
Yeah.
Some type of nonsense.
And we would pull that. We would actually do that kind of crap. Like we would, but we didn't do like I never like someone who got there was there while I was setting up. Usually went on. We didn't make them wait until like the after 10 o'clock crowd.
We weren't letting what was that guy's name?
If we did, we would have been more successful.
Yes, we would have.
It was letting those newbies go up that ultimately
that got us a reputation of being the comics friend.
Gave them time spots when
not
we shouldn't have.
A-list comics friend. But we're still a comedy podcast, and again, Adrian, welcome, sir, to the family. Joey, what time is it? We got about 10-15 minutes left.
You're just gonna rapid fire through all the topics we didn't talk about.
It's 10:17. We got about 10 minutes left. So, all right, here's what we're gonna do. All right, we're gonna do. How many topics we got? We got 6 topics.
I don't know. We talked about exactly none of them. Well, we talked about one of them maybe.
Mm-hmm.
We got some topics. What's the one you want to talk about the most?
We're gonna do that rapid fire Joey LaFaro shit. Where Joey LaFaro tells you quick hits in the news, and if any of us have a quick bite about that, we're gonna jump in on it.
Okay.
So Joey, take it away.
So in this month of February, we visited the Red Planet again.
Did we?
We did. We landed another robot on Mars, and apparently it has a drone. So they're testing helicopter flight on Mars because the atmosphere is so thin that they had to see if it was even possible. And then it's also supposed to take some samples of shit, and it has better tires than the last rover. That's. I watched a video about the engineering about.
So we're going back to a planet.
Wait. If you guys were watching the Super Bowl, wasn't there a commercial that was like, call this number if you want to go to outer space? I feel like I imagined that, but did that really happen?
No, it did. I remember that.
Call this number if you want to go to outer
space. Did I just see that? I couldn't have just saw, here, call this number if you're interested in going to outer space. But that did happen, right?
I think they need to have 2 lines. It's like, are you interested in going to space, and are you interested in being the first people to go to space? Because I think that there's a select group that is down. I'm down for one, and I don't just want to be on the first rocket.
Dying immediately. They're fucking dying.
Oh,
definitely.
definitely.
I feel like even the second folks are dying. There's so much shit in space that is trying to kill you. Why anyone wants to go out there, I have no idea.
Yeah. Round 1 and round 2 is dying like shit.
Until we have polarized hull plating, I'm not going up.
I want to go into space because I'm a Star Trek fan. So my mind is sitting on the 21st century. I'm hoping that God gives me the ability to get to the year 21, so that I can see space flight. Because I think
here's the thing: they didn't give any further explanation. Is it like take a trip to space and come back, or is it like let's go live on this planet? Like they didn't give any more information about exactly what they meant about going to space. Are we setting up there, or is it like a vacation, or what?
Right, this could be the Tuskegee experiment of space travel.
Sure the hell is.
Like they could just be setting you up for some egregious shit.
It definitely wasn't. It definitely wasn't a NASA endeavor. Like it clearly was.
It's like Carnival Cruise Lines.
First of all, NASA doesn't have Super Bowl ad money.
Next thing we'll see a BET ad that says, "Y'all niggas ready to go to space?" It's like, what?
Second of all, we just landed a robot that poops samples.
It's fucking Spirit Airlines trying to take your ass to space with no baggage.
Right.
Okay, so the Red Planet has a new rover.
It's looking for aliens. It's there to look for aliens.
Why is it looking for aliens? Haven't we figured this out yet? They don't want us to see them if they're up there.
No, it's looking for like microbe aliens or like prehistoric. It's not really aliens, but like aliens. It's like if there was microbacteria,
like aliens and shit.
Did Mars ever have like a single-celled organism?
Yeah, it did.
And then it's gonna find the proto-molecule, and we're all gonna be fucked. But until then,
we're gonna find out, Joey.
What?
Mars and Earth look just alike at one point in history, and that's where all the white people came from. They fucked their planet up so bad that the black people who are here say, "You know what? Come on over here, and you can hang with us because your planet's all fucked up." And they got here and fucked this one up too.
#ancient aliens.
Exactly.
Anyway,
exactly.
Speaking of white people, Texas had some weather issues this past week.
Oh, poor Texas.
And
it's really sad down there.
Yeah, especially in the town of Colorado City.
Yeah, I heard about this guy.
Which sounds already suspicious I don't like when there's a
State
different
cities.
state city that makes me nervous.
Like California, Maryland.
I mean, that's pretty bad. It still really worries me that we have a Maryland City, Maryland. I don't get that. That's like a fucking
Wow.
inception of something. I don't know. But this guy, Tim Boyd, I believe his name was,
Tim Boy.
kind of like got so irritated with the fact that people were, frustrated with the public services that he was not offering. They decided to go on a Twitter rant about how the strong will survive and the weak will perish. PARISH. So I guess the weak is going to go to church where God will provide for them. I don't really know where he was going with that. It seemed a bit off brand for his. It seemed like
will perish.
this guy seems like the reason that it all happened. Like he seems like he overused the word snowflake, and then Snowflake took that personally, and then they attacked him.
And I took that personally.
I look at the whole situation in Texas, and I blame Texas for, I'd say, a good 55% of their problems down there. You wanted to be an independent state. You wanted to secede from the union for so long, and here's what secessionist behavior gets you.
How are you going to blame Texas for weather? Like, how did they do
I
that
blame
to
Texas
themselves?
for horrible infrastructure.
They've deregulated everything so much so that there wasn't any way to
Prepare for this shit.
there was just no shot. It was
They're losing
That
power.
has nothing to do with Texas. That has everything to do with the South. You guys forget I'm from New Orleans. It
No.
snows there maybe once a decade. We're not prepared in the South for.
The power outages, because they could
Yeah,
they
so
could
when
have
you have
survived.
severe weather, it causes rolling outages. It causes burst pipes. It causes car accidents. Everything that you were seeing is a place that is not prepared for icy weather because they don't have it but once every 3 decades.
But if they weren't climate change deniers, if they weren't doing everything in their power to do everything wrong as a state, as far as energy wise,
it's been pretty well reported that their power infrastructure was completely out of date because there are no codes.
their power infrastructure is just jacked up because of the simple fact that they're not only on the country's grid, they're on their own. And once you're on your own, you can't tap into the rest of the country.
So they're instead of having rolling blackouts, they just have blackouts. Like that's the difference.
Yeah.
there's nowhere to roll more power from to.
No, but then also the fact that this mayor dude, right? He basically said that the government doesn't owe you anything.
The government
And,
and the power companies don't owe you
And
anything.
I thought that had to be a forged tweet. Like he really
Yeah.
said that.
He said it.
We don't fucking owe you anything. Deal with
Right.
it. What kind of
Dude.
fucking mayor are you?
if I don't owe you anything, then give me back my taxes.
Pretty much. Give me back my taxes and my electrical bill money.
Yeah,
Because I know I paid this bill every month, or else you were going to cut it off. Now you cut it off,
Right.
and I still got to pay this bill. Yeah, fucked up.
Yeah, his tweet said something like the strong survive. Basically, just deal with this yourself. I'm like, dude, did you really say that out loud to your citizens?
our recent guest D'Angelo Joyce had probably the best comment on the whole situation that I saw, and he said something to the effect that Texas mayors be rub various metals together to generate electricity. And I was and I felt like that was the best encapsulation of this whole thing. What is literally instead of rubbing sticks together. Let me see if I got a can here and the chair of a leg of a chair. Let me see if I can get some juice. Let me try to see if I can charge my iPod.
But yeah,
with the friction.
So what's going on? What else is going on, Joe?
There was recently an entire school board had to resign because they
Racism.
That might have been part of it, but the primary reason was they forgot to how sometimes after a customer leaves your store, you talk about it. You have to. There's every job. There's a point where someone leaves the room, and you need to vent about that person.
Mm-hmm.
In the virtual world, it's not a good idea to do that on a Zoom call if you're not sure if the person can access that room. Especially if the person was formerly on, because like people are terrible at keeping track of who's still on the call. And this entire school board fucked up and basically just went into their vent mode while some parents had not logged off.
Oh.
So the whole thing got recorded.
Well, the kid's just stupid. Damn, well, I don't know why they were here fucking with us, man. This is stupid.
Some of the quotes were, they want to pick on us because they want their babysitters back. One person said, my brother had a delivery service for medical marijuana and his clientele were parents of kids at school. Like there's
true statements on both of those. I don't care. Both of those statements were true.
The problem is, like, if you look at some of the things that were said, none of it should be fireable offenses. These are all like reasonable statements that are like, it's all facts. So I don't understand.
Well, they said it. The reason they're fired, and it's the reason I fire people in my job. They're fired because
they got caught.
You got caught. That's one. And B, you said it in a professional forum, and it was unprofessional speak in a professional forum. That's where you run into the problem there. It's not that what you said was wrong or inappropriate, really, but it's just you said it you said it in a moment where you should have been more professional than you were being.
See, this is why I need to be careful, because like one of these days I'm going to get fired.
You are.
See, a clear example of what Marcus is saying is it's not a wrong to get a blowjob, but it's unprofessional to get a blowjob in your office, Bill Clinton. You see? I see what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
none of those
things
are true.
Okay,
Just
but
so
you can't do it
prepared.
at work.
Candace with a throwback joke of the week.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I was trying to give an example of something that's
It's not-
generally okay for an adult, but you can't do it at work.
That's not true either. It is.
What do you mean it's not true? You can't get a blowjob at work. That's unprofessional.
You can.
You can. If you're a porn star. If you're a porn star.
You can if your job allows it. And
Well,
What job
if
allows
that's actually
blowjobs in your office?
if that's part of your job description,
True.
then yeah, you kind of have to,
if you're a
fulfill your duty.
candle maker and you have to test the wicks, so you're gonna blow. It's your job.
Okay.
See? So then you take the
You know what I meant. I meant fellatio. You can't get that done in your office on company time. It's unprofessional.
I need you to secure that sound pipe with just his I meant fellatio. Like, I feel like we need to have that on a drop so that we could just like.
I meant fellatio.
Yeah, like
I meant
as a teaser so people can watch the show.
Oh man, but what else is going on, Joey?
Gen Zers are at it again.
Gen Z?
Generation Z is at it again. There's some concerning. There was recently a viral video of a teacher who was asking students who they thought Helen Keller was, and answers ranged from a Nazi man and to just a fake deaf and blind person.
Okay, first of all, that's a stupid guess. A Nazi man? It's Helen. So that should tell you right there that at least it's a would
I met a
like
female
how
Helen.
that's Nazi man.
I mean, I kind of get it. It sounds kind of like a hair Keller. Like I could see. You know,
Keller.
if you're not paying attention to the Helen part.
Well, I mean, those kids probably thought German Helen. Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Like,
Pretty much.
Helen is
Helen
a girl's
Keller.
name no matter what language.
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
All right. Excuse my ignorance. I know who Helen Keller was. Okay. What did Helen Keller do?
she was actually like an advocate for the deaf and blind, and she was like a full professor.
Wasn't she like a physicist or something?
No, she went on to be like from like being born both deaf and blind to like then becoming like one of the leading activists for
The
like
devil-
disabled. Yeah, she's been a professor on the like professor activist. She's helped write like laws about accessibility and education. So she's been active in that role for
She was active.
decades.
Yeah.
She ain't alive, Joey.
Did she pass?
No.
She been dead.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
She been dead.
I forgot.
She was dead before us. I don't think she was alive when we were born.
I'm pretty sure she was.
No, she wasn't. Like this was definitely like.
See, she was.
When did she die?
Maybe Candace, but not us.
Oh no!
You know what?
68.
I'm gonna look it
You're
up.
right.
Let me look it up.
68. Yeah, right before Candace was born. Helen Keller.
I was not born in the 60s.
I'm thinking of somebody else.
I
that-
didn't say the 60s. 70 is right there.
No, I mixed her up with some other old white lady that I was surprised.
died?
No, that like I remember like learning about in this around this that was had a similar character arc that was still alive.
Similar character arc. Is that what we're going with on that one?
Yeah,
She had a
Helen
character
Keller lived from 1880 to 1968. She lived in the
Dang.
fucking 1800s.
Wow.
So did my slave ancestors, but we don't talk about them too much. I don't really care about Helen Keller. She could have. She didn't have one foot like my Uncle Chicken George. But we're gonna talk about her today. No, it's Black History Month. Black fact of the day, Joey LaFaro. Hit it.
I think what it was.
See, this
is-
is the fucked up part. See, no,
Black
Joey.
fact of the day is Vice President Kamala Harris, first time female president of the Vice President of the United States, went to Howard University. That's the black fact of the day.
Hey, there you go.
HU.
No.
You know,
Oh,
Yes.
are you a Howard alum? Are you a Howard alum, Adrian?
I am not. I know it. I just know it.
I know. Everyone knows it. They're obnoxious about it. You gotta know
No,
it.
the same way that like folks from A&T are obnoxious about that Aggie Pride stuff.
We're
Like-
proud. I think you're confusing obnoxious with proud.
So-
you're
I
a Howard alum.
HU. That's correct.
Okay, all right.
First graduating class, 1867.
I hate you.
Damn.
Right beside your name.
She's in the first sorority at Howard University. She was the first alpha lady to cross into the pink and green. That's right. Skew.
speaking of period pieces, I saw Judas and the Black Messiah this weekend.
Oh man, I need to watch it. I do need to watch it. I have
Yo, that was a good movie. That was a real good movie.
I thought it was really well
But-
done. I read an article where someone was the headline of the article. I admittedly didn't read it, but the headline of the article was "What's Lost" based on the casting, and I didn't understand it at first.
Mhm.
But I noticed that if you actually read about the historical figures, the actors are much older than,
Oh, yeah.
than the people that's
Oh
actually-
yeah.
They were
So-
teenagers.
yeah, so it really it does lose a little bit of like thinking of them as kids. Like the fact the FBI picked up Bill O'Neill when he was like 17
Mhm.
for that car theft is like a totally different like mental thing. Like you know, when you see Keith Stanfield, he doesn't look like you don't get that there's the government's manipulating a child.
Yeah.
And that's kind of
What
lost.
they've been doing
in
to
the
black
film.
children for
Yeah.
all of humanity is manipulating us to do our own people dirty.
But other than that, it was an excellent film. The weird thing is I just recently started watching Snowfall within the same week, and because it like
Oh.
has it the time frame when it takes place and how it references his the main character's dad was a Black Panther.
Yeah.
It kind of tracks as a weird sequel, and I was like, what the hell is going on here? It was like the weirdest accidental like time
Overlap
progression.
on there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I do need to watch Judas and the Black Messiah. it looks amazing.
Mhm.
Just from an aesthetic point of view, it looks amazing. And the story of Fred Hampton is probably one of the most misread in governmental manufactured stories out there.
Well, they definitely don't teach it in AP US history.
No, they shouldn't.
So like,
And they should. They don't.
yeah, they should.
They pulled no punches with showing how racist the FBI was.
Oh yeah.
Oh
It
god.
was like, damn. Like, I was just like, yeah. I mean,
The FBI don't like niggas.
I mean, to the point where like they like the one scene where they had Jesse Plemons' character, and he's like, "So what are you gonna do when your daughter brings home a Negro?" And it was like, "Why are you asking me this? What are we doing here?"
It's
Yeah.
the history of America, Black America is one filled with a lot of hatred for no reason, and a lot of fear for no reason. And you know what's crazy about the FBI? And I'll say it here, and I'll continue to say it for the rest of my life. J. Edgar Hoover was a fag, like big fag, like dressed like a woman fag, and no one wants to talk about that in all these history books. They want to talk about
everything that you said is completely offensive and homophobic. You about to get our show canceled? Try that again. Try that again.
I'm sorry. I'll change that a little bit. Okay. One thing that the world does not seem to really pick up on or really teach is that J. Edgar Hoover was the biggest fag in history, and he should have been exposed as such. And the fact is, I don't have a problem with homosexuality, but there's a difference between what that motherfucker was and homosexuals. There's a completely difference. There's a completely utter difference. He didn't like gays. This is the funny part about J. Edgar Hoover. That's why I call him what he is. It's fucking fag. He's the worst. He's worse for his own people. He didn't like gays. He didn't like the hippies. He didn't like blacks. He didn't like Hispanics.
It's weird how that became like it's not taught anywhere, but became like a commonly held thing that we know that he at the very least was into cross dressing.
He had a gay lover who was in the FBI. Come on now.
But
come on, Sway.
Was this part of like? Was there a declassified document that got released?
No, we just knew he was. You know how we knew he was gay because of how much he was on those Martin Luther King sex tapes. He really wanted to hit him. Like he has like albums. Martin Luther King having sex with these random women. And the fact is, hey, Martin Luther King was a great man, but he was not a perfect man. I didn't expect Martin Luther King to not have sleep with 10,000 women. That's what they do to powerful men. They sleep with them. But J. Edgar Hoover, again, biggest queen.
Here's the thing. I don't understand how Martin Luther King had so many. Like he is many things, but a sex symbol he is not. So I don't know how that worked out.
No one. Okay.
Like, ooh, I want to fuck that guy. Like it's just.
First of all, he was a great communicator. And then second of all, he was on the road.
He is